Hey there, freaks and geeks. Welcome to another episode of Geek Out for a Minute. We are coming at you here from Sin City, Las Vegas, Nevada. I'm your host, Rocky Dead I Am Ruiz, and today we're going to go over The Mandalorian Season 2. So let's cue that music. The Mandalorian Season 2. It's back. I'm excited. I'm excited to be back. I know it's been a long time, but like John Wick says, people keep asking me, am I back? And I'm thinking, I'm back. All right, guys. So, yeah, no, it's been a while. It's been like years, really. And, man, I'll go into it a little bit later because I really want to get into this trailer. Last year when we had the Mandalorian Season 1, I mean, it rocked my socks. I mean, no joke. It was just insanely good. And, you know, you have actors like Pedro Pascal playing Mandalorian. You got Carl Weathers playing Greef Karga. You got Gina Carano playing Cara Dune. Werner Herzog playing the client. Nick Nolte, Taika Waititi. You know, and you know what, like when I saw like Taika Waititi's work, like I really wasn't that much of a fan, but now after seeing, you know, what he's done lately, especially with the episode that he directed and seeing, you know, Jojo Rabbit, like I'm really impressed with his work. Also, I mean, the series had directors, you know, such as Deborah Chow, Rick Famuyiwa, Dave Filoni, Bryce Dallas Howard, Taika Waititi, and Jon Favreau. And Jon Favreau being the showrunner along with Dave Filoni. For those of you guys that are not familiar with who Dave Filoni is, he was actually working with George Lucas on the Clone Wars animated series, and which is a really good animated series. It's better than the prequels, I'll tell you that much. And so for me, as far as this series, and I mean Season 1, right? It was a breath of fresh air. It really was, because after The Force Awakenings, which I really like The Force Awakening, you know, all the stuff was not really that good. I mean, I like The Force Awakening. Rogue One is amazing. I didn't like Solo, the movie Solo. I didn't like it. I hated The Last Jedi. And I really didn't like Rise of the Skywalkers. It just lacked so much, and it's just like, for me, it took away. It had like this style of just being too kid-like, you know, like they were appealing to kids. And with The Mandalorian, you don't get that feeling, man. You get this feeling like a Western, like space, you know, a space Western, you know, like the way Firefly felt, you know, if you guys ever watched that series, it's really good. They made a movie about it called Serenity, which you can still check out, and you'll see what I'm talking about. And then, you know, just basically how, like, almost like if Han Solo were to have like his own movie, unlike the Solo movie. But yeah, this one just gave you all that freshness, you know. So when it came out, it was just a breath of fresh air. It was totally creative. The humor in it was not just so in your face. The SJW stuff wasn't in your face. And even when you have, you know, the women who are badass, they look like they're badass. And then, you know, especially when you have Gina Carano. I mean, let's face it, she's been one of the most legendary MMA athletes, you know, in history, you know, for females. She really like paved the way for a lot of females in the MMA. So that was, again, a breath of fresh air to have her come in and be like, hey, I'm a badass. And you're like, yeah, I can see it, you know? And so that everything felt really organic. It felt good, you know? The style was good. There was one episode I really didn't like. And, but other than that, I mean, it's really just like nitpicking. You know, the stuff that I didn't like certain characters I didn't like. It just didn't I just didn't agree with it, right? But other stuff like for the most part, it's just a great series, this is the way, just like the culture, when they talked about the culture of the Mandalorian, it was just so awesome. And then the fact that, even at the end, when you have, I believe that the actor's name is, I think is, what is it, Edward Esposito? Let me see, give me 1 second here. I'll pull it up. I'm sorry, Giancarlo Esposito, who played Moff Gideon. And that was great, and he pulls out, the black lightsaber. On the last episode, when you see the humor between the two stormtroopers that are on the speed bikers, I think they call them, the speed bikes or speeder bikes, whatever they're called. That scene was just, for me, was incredible. So a lot to desire in this show. They had stakes in it, like there's, when Nick Nolte's character, when he got killed, you were like, you felt it, and that's what I've always liked about Star Wars, that there was like a feeling of like a threat, even though like the stormtroopers couldn't shoot anybody, but you know what, in the beginning, even like when you had that fight with Obi-Wan, and now Obi-Wan dies, you're like, oh, and for me, it just had like, at the time, when I was a kid watching it, and even looking back at it too, it's just still great. And when they did the prequels, you kind of lost a little of that, and then when they did the sequels, which is Force Awakens on, it lost a lot of it. And, dealing with the news of everything that's happened with those episodes and all that. I don't believe them for a second when they say, oh, the director for the Last Jedi, he didn't really mess with our toys. He didn't mess. It was all scripted out. We already knew it, and then it turns out that they didn't even know what to do with Rey. So no, I call bull. I call bull on it. And I've been calling it bull for a while. And then so I think he ruined it. And then you had I think they were trying to pick up, but they just went into a completely wrong direction. And when they originally talked and they said, hey, Rey should have been an Obi-Wan, like a descendant of Obi-Wan. That made more sense to me, because there was a character in the Clone Wars, the animated series, where he was involved with the Queen of Mandalore. So that it would have been really cool if Rey was half and half, like a half Mandalore and then half Jedi, and that would have played very well into the Mandalore himself, But this year we're getting a lot of stuff. Supposedly we're gonna get Boba Fett in there, and we're also gonna get Sabine from Star Wars Rebels, which is another animated series, which is really good, by the way. You should definitely check it out. But hey, let's get down to this trailer here now, because I am putting on my trusty skull candies here. I actually said it this time because I've just been away. I don't have all my gadgets hooked up onto this computer, so just bear with me here. And all right. And here we go.
Show me the one whose safety deemed such destruction. You must reunite it with its own kind.
Where?
This you must determine. The songs of eons past tell of battles between Mandalore the Great and an order of sorcerers called Jedi.
You expect me to search the galaxy and deliver this creature to a race of enemy sorcerers?
This is the way.
child. Wherever I go, he goes. So I've heard.
Oh, yeah.
This is the way.
October 30th cannot get here any sooner. I'm telling you. Wow. Wow. Man, just the way it starts off too, where you have the female Mandalore who is, you know, a blacksmith, you know, creating all the weapons and the armor, you know, and they talk about the technique of using the metal that they have, which is just so cool, because they did talk about armor that the Mandalorians had when they fought the Jedi that can resist, you know, the strike of a lightsaber, right? Which is again really good in it. And you know, if he's gonna fight, you know, Gideon Moff, you know, and he's gonna have that black lightsaber, that's gonna play a big role in that whole thing. So I'm wondering if this is gonna talk about the rise of the First Order in The Force Awakens, because this is, from my understanding, is that this show is in between, you know, episode from 3 and 4, right, and which will lead from 4, 5, and 6. No, wait, is it that? No, because it starts on episode 4, so it would be 4, 5, and 6, and so it'd be 7, 8. So in between 6 and 7. Sorry about that. So between episode 6 and 7, that's when this is supposed to take place. So I'm really curious to see if they're going to show the rise of the Order, because in the first season, you see those stormtrooper uniforms look pretty tatted up, and you know, they're all messed up and they're dirty, you know, and then now you're starting to see them a little bit cleaned up. So that looks pretty cool. The fact that they're bringing in the rebels and the Jedi. So I don't know where they're going with it, because I remember that in the beginning of the season they said that the Empire had fallen. So yeah, I'm interested to see, like, why would there be need for these rebels and stuff, and maybe they're just like, hey, they're about to rise, they're up to something, you know. So that would be pretty cool. So they're gonna bring in Sabine, and they're gonna bring in you know, Boba Fett, but that one's weird because, you know, he died in the pit, you know, so I don't understand how they're going to bring him back. So that's going to be interesting to see as well. And from my understanding is that they're going to bring in a whole lot of other characters. So that's really cool. I'm digging that. I can't wait to see this, you know, 30th. Just that moment that he said, you know, he turns on the weapon was called the Whistling Birds from season 1. And then, like, you know, Baby Yoda's just looking at it like, how with that? I'm closing this, you know? That was really cool. I'm excited. That was just a little clip, really, of, like, what's coming in, you know? Like, there was just a few clips of, like, all this stuff, you know, from that. The Jedi, you know, they're calling them sorcerers, the sorcerers, you know? That was really cool. Man, I'm super excited for this, man. Hey, did you guys see season 1? Did you guys like it? You know, let me know in the comments below, or let me know what you think of the video, man. I'm excited. I'm like so pumped, you know, and I'm about to go to work in a little bit, so I'm going to go into work super pumped. Anyways, guys, you know, thank you guys for watching. You know what? This is us coming back after a long hiatus. And thank you guys for watching. See you guys next time. And don't forget to... I don't even remember my old slogan, man. You know, don't forget to like, spread the word. I'll work on it later. Anyways, guys, it's good to be back. I'll see you guys next time. Have a good one.